All right, class. Hopefully this is the final time. This is lesson 4.3, solving systems by substitution, specifically linear systems by substitution, even though there are things like that are nonlinear systems that we will not come anywhere close to dealing with in this class. Anyway, lesson 4.3, solving systems by substitution. What you're going to learn is to understand that equivalent expressions can be substituted for one another. All right. And then once we make that substitution, we will use that relationship between variables to rewrite an equation with two variables in it that will now only have one variable that we can then solve for, because we've learned how to solve linear equations in one variable. All right. Once we get that value, we'll have to go back and substitute it in to get into another equation that involves both variables that we can solve for the second variable. Remember, we're only doing two equations, two unknowns. All right. Although in other math classes, you can go higher. All right. So let's begin. Again, this is kind of complicated, so I'm breaking it down into three different videos. Video A is this first question, video B will be the second question, and video C will be the check your understanding. Okay, so the Jones family is having a family reunion at a park. Can you help figure out who brought what and how much they spent? Grandma Jones was in charge of bringing paper plates and utensils. She bought 3 packs of paper plates. I'm going to underline these important pieces of information. She bought 3 packs of paper plates for $5.19 and 2 boxes of plastic silverware. Notice they don't tell you how much the 2 boxes of plastic silverware cost. However, they do tell you she spent a total of $12.09 on plates and silverware. They say let P be the cost of paper plates and S be the cost of a box of plastic silverware. Write 2 equations using P and S to describe Grandma Jones's purchase. Well, the first statement, she bought 3 packs of paper plates for $5.19. Gives us this equation, pretty straightforward. 3P equals $5.19. Remember, P is the cost of a pack of paper plates. Then they also told you that even though it's a little bit backwards, she bought 3 packs of paper plates for $5.19 and 2 boxes of plastic silverware. So 3P plus 2S for a total of $12.09. All right. So we have 2 unknowns. We have P and we have S, and those P and S show up in one equation, and luckily for us, which makes this problem fairly straightforward, is that we just have P showing up in another. So which price is easier to find? Well, I think I just stated it. P is easier. To find because we already know 3P equals $5.19. Notice it shows up by itself in an equation. And that's the whole point. 3P is by itself equal to $5.19. It comes from this statement here, which came from this statement right there. Okay? So find the price. Well, pretty straightforward. Divide both sides by 3. P equals $5.19 divided by 3, which happens to be, get my calculator out. Dun, 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 dun. It is $1.73. Okay, so that's the price per pack of plates. You can even say paper plates. Okay. So now that you found the price of one of the items, can you find the price of the other item? How? Well, the answer is, at least I hope it's obvious, yes. Because 3p equals 519, we can then substitute that in to the 3p plus 2s equals 1209. We take the 3p equal to 519, and we take this 3p and change it out to be 519. So this becomes 519 plus 2s equals 12.09, which is a fairly straightforward equation in one variable to solve. How do we do it? Well, we have to get the constant values together, so we're going to subtract 519 from both sides. And we get 2s equals 1209 minus 519, and that works out to be 690. So that's for 2 boxes of silverware. So for 1 box, we take 690 and divide it by 2, and that is 345. And that's the cost for 1 box of silverware. Plastic silverware, I guess. So that's the value for S. And this is the value for P. Okay. So, and that was the first question. So let's go through and kind of write down a few notes here. So we're going to take the 3p, and what we did was we substituted it in for the 3p there, okay? And that gave us this equation down there. All right. Now that we got that together, we are what we did was we substitute We substitute 519 for 3p. To get an equation with only one variable. Okay? And that was B. Okay? Or P, excuse me. Okay, so that was pretty straightforward. And that's the end of this video. The reason I'm breaking it up is because now we're going to have one that's a little bit more complicated to solve. This was easy because we basically had this 3p equals 519, which easily gave us the value of P, the price per pack of plates. All right? And we just figured out what the price per pack of plates is. We substituted up here in this, and then we solved for the remaining variable S. Okay, and that's the end of this vid.